Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Young and the Restless spoilers have been showing Summer Newman, Allison Lanier trying to break Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, and Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron up because she's decided she wants her ex back, and things are about to escalate wildly. And now, Summer's doubling down on her scheme to come between Claire and Kyle and how far she might go. After Summer and Kyle's divorce, remember, she started seeing Detective Chancellor Connor Floyd, but things went south during the investigation into Heather Stevens' Veilbloom death. Summer didn't like the way Chance handled it when he just laser-focused on her brother Daniel Romolodi Michael Graziere as the top suspect. And he didn't seem to do a lot more investigating into anything else. That's despite the fact that Sharon Newman's Sharon case had clearly framed Daniel. The evidence was so clearly planted, and Summer, she just couldn't get past it. So first, Summer called a break on dating Chance on Young and the Restless. And now she's called it quits, told her dad, nope, never happening. So Summer's single, and she wants Kyle back. Rather than, going and finding a new man of her own, Summer wants what Claire has, which makes sense because Summer never wanted the divorce from Kyle. He was the one that called off their marriage because, if you recall, Summer lied to him after she knew Phyllis Summers Michelle Stafford was a lie. And that lie was keeping Kyle's mom, Diane Jenkins Susan Walters, behind bars. So it was pretty much Summer and her covering for Phyllis that torched her marriage. And now Kyle has moved on Young and the Restless. He's very happy with Claire, and Summer cannot stand it. The faces she makes when she sees Claire with Kyle are so obviously petty and over the top. It's pretty funny to watch them. Summer is constantly giving Claire the stink eye. And now Summer is playing dirty and dirtier as she is actively sabotaging their relationship. Because this week on Young and the Restless, just as Claire and Kyle settle into their dinner date at GCAC, Summer makes this big move. She interrupts, and she's claiming she and Kyle have to talk to their son, Harrison Locke, Redding Munsell right that minute. Summer insists they've got to tell Harrison that Phyllis is missing before he hears it somewhere else. And Kyle, of course, thinks this can wait. This is not the first time he said this can wait. But Summer has just pushed and pushed, and Summer insists. So Kyle reluctantly goes with her to see Harrison. Maybe it's that cowboy shirt Summer's got on, and Kyle thinks she's a lady sheriff that he's got to obey. I don't know, maybe he's just blinded by Summer's awful taste in outfits on Young and the Restless. That shirt is truly terrible, but whatever the reason, Kyle leaves Claire in the dining room. She tells him it's okay to go, and Summer wanted to ruin their date. Of course, she knew Kyle would cave if she played the Harrison card. And then when Claire said, "I'll wait down here for you," then of course, Summer was encouraging her not to. "Oh, it's going to be too long, just go." And she's trying so hard to make sure that Kyle can't get back to his date with Claire after this talk with Harrison. But it's a fail. And despite her obvious manipulation, Claire can spot this a mile away. It's obvious to Claire, it's obvious to me, not so obvious to Kyle. And that's because Summer's ex always shows her a lot of grace on Young and the Restless. He gives her the benefit of the doubt, especially when it's anything to do with Harrison. And of course, Summer knows that. So she keeps emotionally manipulating Kyle, and she's wielding Harrison like a weapon. She's trying to and kill his relationship with his new girlfriend on. And now we're going to see Summer doubling down by using this Phyllis crisis. She's going to try and get comfort and closeness from Kyle while also blocking Claire. And the timing of Summer amping up her antics is no coincidence. It's hot on the heels of Kyle telling Summer he is falling in love with Claire. And while he and Claire haven't said "I love you," not yet, Kyle did tell Summer that's where it's heading. So Summer realizes she's got to act fast. She has got to kill this thing between Kyle and Claire, or at least slow it down before they get to that "I love you" phase on Young and the Restless. Because then comes engagement marriage, and then she's probably got no chance of stopping it. And if Summer respected Kyle as a man, as a person, as someone she cares about, she would accept that he has chosen Claire, and she'd back off. But nope, Summer's going to do the exact opposite and is probably going to use any means necessary to tear them apart, much like her mom, Phyllis. We can clearly see that it's all about what Summer wants and also about her not wanting Claire Newman to have Kyle. Like you don't want to play with the toy, but when someone else takes the toy and you're a toddler, you want to take that toy back. And it appears to be kind of both of these things motivating her increasingly bad behavior on Young and the Restless. And we all know Summer's selfish, and she has been for a long time. You may recall a few years back on Young and the Restless when Kyle had fallen for sweet, working-class Lola Rosales. She ran a food truck, and then later, she was the head chef at Society, and Kyle was deeply in love with Lola. But then she had that medical crisis. She went into liver failure, and the only match in town was Summer. So she finally agreed to donate a piece of her liver to save Lola's life. But the price was steep. She would only donate if Kyle agreed to marry her. Talk about a grimy move. She was just going to let Lola die if he didn't marry her. So yeah, Kyle married Summer, and then she donated part of her liver to Lola, and the sweet chef survived. But Kyle couldn't stay away from Lola because he truly loved her, and he walked out on that marriage with Summer. Eventually, Lola left because the actress got the role of Supergirl, and Kyle wound up back with Summer. I mean, how ruthless do you got to be to hold Lola's life in your hand and use it to blackmail Kyle into marriage? Summer Newman really is her mother's daughter. And now here we are once again with a nice girl like Claire. Aside from her trying to kill the Newmans. And Kyle's falling hard and fast, just like he did with Lola. And there's actually other similarities there. There's something that Claire had, something that Lola had, that Summer just doesn't have and never will. Something that Summer can't compete with, that Kyle just can't resist. Maybe it's their innate goodness. Maybe it's their tough backstories on Young and the Restless. While Summer has grown up very spoiled and entitled, but there's a big difference there, and that's what draws Kyle in. So we're going to see an escalation soon with Summer as Kyle gets closer to Claire and is giving away more of his heart. Summer's going to ramp up her efforts to tear them apart. I hope Claire doesn't wind up needing an organ transplant. And Summer's the only match in town because Summer probably learned her lesson and would say no and just let Kyle's girlfriend die. But, Claire's only going to put up with Summer's antics for so long. And once her patience runs out on Young and the Restless, I think Claire could go one of two ways. Either go head-to-head with Summer, call her out, just fight it out. Or Claire could tell Kyle, look, if Summer's going to be constantly messing with us and interfering, it's just exhausting. And I just don't want to do this. And that would probably get Kyle to go, oh, wait, no, I'll take care of this. This plot with them actually reminds me a lot of Danny Romlodi Michael Damian choosing Christine Williams Laura Lee Bell. We were watching Phyllis refusing to accept it, throwing herself at Danny every chance she got, just flirting obnoxiously. He kept refusing her. And it was like Phyllis just couldn't comprehend that Danny couldn't want her and wanted Christine instead. She was constantly running her down, said nasty things, implied that Danny would cheat on Christine with younger women. It was just a whole campaign of harassment. And if Summer's more subtle methods don't start pushing Kyle and Claire apart, Summer is probably going to go into full Phyllis mode and start her own campaign of harassment. Summer may start channeling her mom Phyllis's worst behavior, which means it's all going to end up in a big soapy mess that's probably going to bite Summer in the backside. We'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.